Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to discuss Nic Newman. Okay, the sad news coming out of Carlton is he's out for the year. The poor young man. So they're going to have to replace him at halfback, and there's a lot of talk on social media. Who's going to be the replacement? And is he going to be a Jet? Is he going to be the one that's going to take us to 50k? Just come down. Well, here's the news here. Nic Newman has been ruled out of the 2025 season after rupturing his patella tendon. Okay, now there was whispers going around everywhere that the man to replace him is going to be Ollie Hollands. Okay, now that's the whisper going around. Okay, that's the talk. That's the chit chat behind the scenes. However, I dug in deep. Okay, very deep. So I looked up virtually every single article from Carlton. I went to the whole Carlton website. I couldn't find nothing. Absolutely nothing on Hollands. So I asked a friend, okay, because if I can't find it, maybe I'm blind or I can't see things anymore. So I asked a friend, okay. I asked Kai Broom, okay, from Twitter. I said, can you find me something on Ollie Hollands? It's driving me nuts. And within 2 minutes, he found something. I couldn't believe it. So 2 minutes later, he comes up with an answer. He says, in the Herald Sun, it was mentioned that Ollie Hollands is going to be playing off halfback, or he's training with the back line, and most likely going to play halfback. And that's mentioned in the Herald Sun. So that's the news that I was looking for. So then I went to the Herald Sun website. This is what came up. When I went to the Herald Sun website, they don't give me no information. It says I have to subscribe to that for news you can trust. Just come down. I can't see nothing. Okay, so I'm just going to take the word, whatever the article said. I'm just going to take the word that Ollie Hollands is going to be playing in defence. Now, I've put up a few Carlton players in this team. Now, don't panic, okay? Just calm down, okay? Don't panic, because I'm not going to start all these players in my team. I've just put them up here for our exercise today, and we're going to eliminate them one by one. Now, besides Chera and Smith, who's actually in my team, so they're not going to be eliminated. But this lot here, we're going to eliminate these. Now, we're going to see who's going to take the spot of Nic Newman. Now, the thing that bugs me with Ollie Hollands, okay, this bugs me, okay? Now, they said he's going to play halfback. Okay, that's fair enough. Now, that's a logical choice for Newman. But the thing is, he was going to play halfback before the Newman news broke out. So, obviously, he wasn't going to take Newman's spot. He was going to take another spot at halfback, because if Ollie Hollands was going to take Newman's spot, well, Newman was still in the team when they announced this. So, that can't be the case. So, I'm going to leave Ollie Hollands here for now, but I think the man that's going to replace Newman is going to be Doherty, okay? I think the Doc is the man. Although we could say Zach Williams and Saad could be the players to replace him as well. I even thought of Cowan. I put Haynes here because I didn't have enough Carlton players, so let's just take Haynes out because he's not fast enough, okay? Haynes is out. No, let's just take Boyd out as well. So it's between one of these five. Okay, I think that will replace Newman. Now, then comes another question. Now, Newman had a lot of the kick-ins, as we can see here. He's had a couple of ones here, but 5s and 3s and 7s, and 4s and 5s and 4s, so a couple of 7s here. So he takes a lot of kick-ins with the governor, okay, the other governor. Now, also shares it with Saad. Okay, as you can see here, Saad's also taking some kick-ins. Unusually, Saad's not playing on a lot of them. Okay, 6 out of 9. He didn't play on a lot, but he does take kick-ins as well. And then they like to have 3 players that take kick-ins. As you can see, there's always 3 of them, sometimes 4, but usually it's 3. So Newman wasn't the sole kick taker. There was others. Okay, he shared it. Now, Newman, when he played, okay, let's have a look at his heat map. Okay. Just one heat map was enough. Okay, we don't have to study him left, right, and centre. I'm just going to look at one heat map just to see exactly where he played. And it says halfback flank, okay? Let's have a look at a big score, 132. Okay, this will do. Halfback flank. And pretty much he's controlling the back line, okay? And he's pretty much, that's a good role, okay? Now, that's a very good role for Nic Newman. Then let's have a look at Nic Newman's averages the past 2 years. Okay, forget about the ones before that. Okay, the past 2 years, we've got a 101, which was last year. Okay, 101, and that's his average. You can see here, he can go big, 156. Then he can go small, 64, 90, 84, 57. Okay, and a couple of big ones again, 148, 140. So there are some big games. And there are some very little games, very small games. They're tiny. So, consistency-wise, it's not there. All right. However, when you have a best 23, because the ceiling is so high, it's actually not too bad. But the problem is, you don't want to have that many low games. Okay, you want to have the odd low game, but he's got a lot of them. Okay, if you count scores under 90, let's count them: 1, 2, 3, 4. Including 90, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 scores of 90 or lower last year. That's not like a very consistent scoring. Now, if you go 2023, okay, again, you can see that the ceiling games are there, okay, but there's also the low scores. Mind you, that's probably an injury-affected game, but we won't count that one, okay? Let's count how many scores under 90 and below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there's 6. This one's a bit less, but he only averaged 100. Probably because of the 28 there. So, scoring-wise, okay, the reason I'm doing this exercise here is scoring-wise is his role, okay? It's more about the role now, not him personally, but his role. How many points are we expecting to generate out of this role? Okay, well, 101 being the highest. And what is that rank with the top defenders? Let's have a look. Now, here we've got the averages of last year, okay? Now, let's count how far down we have to go. Now, McGovern's number 6, okay? We're looking for 101, okay? Where is 101? Here he is there. Nic Newman ranked the 12th best midfield defender last year. The 12th. You got 11 players above him, okay? That's scary, okay? Now, even though Nic Newman... we're going to replace him and has a massive ceiling. There are games where there's no ceiling at all. There's no scores. So, is Saad the answer? Okay, let's have a look at Saad's history. Okay, well, looking at Saad's scores, his best season is 2022. It's a 103. It's still in our top 6 of defenders, and that's the only score above 100. And he had kick-ins last year. He may have played back pocket, but that's not the point. The point is he has played halfback as well, and in many other seasons. So Saad is not the answer. So let's cross off Saad. If Saad gets that role, we don't want him. Okay, let's cross him off. Now, Cowan, I'm just gonna cross him off anyway. Okay, he's too young. Okay, he's not as experienced as these boys. Okay, I think it's his 3rd year. So let's cross off Cowan. Now Zach Williams. Okay, now let's go to Zach Williams. Is he the answer? What if he gets that role? Okay. And, a lot of you had Zach Williams last year. You weren't happy customers. Okay. Now, Zach Williams, he's only averaged 100 once. Okay. And that was probably GWS years. Okay. And very struggles. Okay. Even can't even get on the park. Injury riddled. Mind you, he played forward last year. But if Zach Williams gets that role, it's a pass as well. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's cross off Zach Williams. Okay, that leaves us with only 2 players left. Okay, we've got Doherty and Hollands. Now, let's go to Doherty. Okay, now the problem with Doherty and Hollands, both of them. Okay, the problem with both of them is they play in our Supercoach teams in the midfield. We can't move them. Okay, however. By the time it gets to round 6, then you can switch them over. So that's not too bad of a problem. But at the moment, starting-wise, it's a problem. Because at the start, you probably want to bring in the Peatlings and the Cummings. And we're going to do his review soon. And the Cherrers and the Olivers. And a couple of the rookies. And by the time you get through all them, there's no room for Primos. So if you put Hollands here, you can't have Peatling most likely. Or you can't have Cummings. Which we don't know if Cummings is any good anyway, but we're going to find out. But let's go to Doherty first, okay? What did Doherty do last year? Actually, forget about last year. What has Doherty done in the past? Okay, now, because last year I only played one game, okay, so we're not going to count last year. In 2023, I think he played a bit of midfield time from memory. 2022, he averaged 109, so that's not bad, okay, we're happy with that. 2021, it's only a 97, then a 92, that we're not happy with. Then a 114 we're happy with, and a 108 we're happy with, so that's 108 is borderline. So if Doherty gets this role, and I think it's going to be Doherty, okay, I think it is the Doc, okay, because Carlton had plans for Ollie Hollands in another halfback role. So obviously that was with our boy Newman in the team. So it has to be Doherty. And Doherty's going to come out of the wing and back to defence. That's how I see it. Now, we're in DFS Australia, and we've looked up Sam Doherty. Okay, now we're going to have a look at 20... Actually, which year do we want to look at? Let's have a look. Okay, well, what was his good year? That will give us an idea. I want to see 2022. Okay, 2022, average 109. Where was he playing? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, that's Nic Newman. Okay, 2022. Here we go. Okay, 2022. Halfback flank, back pocket, halfback flank. Okay, let's have a look at one of these heat maps. So just going to a random one. Okay. Now, if we can have a look here at Sam Doherty, then have a look here at Nic Newman. And it's the same thing nearly, okay? Possibly Doherty's more defensive, but then again, he did go for a run. That wasn't just that game, okay? Have a look at another game. Okay, let's go have a look at a big game. Well, a 115 game. Okay, so Doherty and Newman have the same role. Newman had this role, okay? The same role that Doherty had. And actually, if anything, Doherty played this role better than Newman because Newman only averaged 100. Doherty has gone to 110. So... Doherty could be this man. However, there are other problems now. Let me explain to you now. Now, before I even explain the other problems, another reason why I've picked Doherty is because Carlton, they want to win a premiership. Okay, they're not in the process of blooding young players and trying out and experimenting. Although they are going to experiment with Hollands in the back line because he's probably ready. However, Doherty has played this role before, okay, and has mastered it. So they have to play a player that knows how to play this role. And considering they want to, and Doherty's a good kick. I'm not saying that Hollands isn't, but Doherty being the master of this role, and Carlton want to win a premiership, it just makes sense. Okay, they have to play him there. So that's what I'm thinking anyway. But the problem here is this now. Okay. Here's the problem. What happens if Doherty doesn't play there? Okay, so let's say in the practice games, we're seeing Doherty playing halfback. Virtually all of the intra-club games and practice games and all those games, and even on the team sheets when it comes out on Wednesday night, and it says Doherty halfback. Mind you, Doherty's first game is against Richmond, who love giving points to halfbacks. Okay, now Doherty could go nuts round one. Okay, now, so we're happy. We see Doherty's name on the team sheet. It says Doherty halfback. Can we trust these team sheets? Because we have no round zero from Doherty. Round zero from other teams that we need some info from. But Doherty, because he's going to get a new position now. We want this information. So is he gonna play the halfback role? We don't know. Okay. However, it could be worth the gamble. Okay, on Doherty. At his price, $487K. What's been his peak price? Even though it's at 2020. Let's go back here. All right, at 2022. All right. What was his peak price? Let's have a look. What did he peak at? Actually, as you can see, it's very consistent, his pricing, okay? 530 he started that year, up to 579, back to 530, 570, very consistent. So, how much is he going to make profit-wise? It's not going to be much, okay? But you're getting a 570K player at a good price. However, his price, mind you, this game here, this was against Richmond. All right, every time he plays round one, it's against Richmond. Let's have a look, because we can see what he scores against Richmond every year. All right, that was 144 against Richmond. Now in 2020, what year? Well, 2021. All right, he scored a 94. All right, 2020, he scored a 117. 2019, he didn't play. 2018, he didn't play. Okay, what happened? Oh, that's right. He had cancer. Okay, I shouldn't. All right, 2017, 91. 2016, 118. He can against Richmond. He can score well. And mind you, I showed you Richmond's strong years. Okay, those ones in Richmond's weaker years, when they were a lot weaker. Okay, still it's a 108. It's not much, but I'm not sure where he played that year. It was a 603k too to start with. Anyway, going back to Doherty, if he plays halfback at 487k, okay, I think it's a lock. He might not be a top 6 defender, but he will be a top 8. That'll be good enough. I'll be happy to lock him in at 487k. He looks cheap. It's a bargain. I've never seen doctors cheap, especially at a halfback role. Now, you may say he's too old, okay, grandpa, okay, but he's not, okay. He's well, AFL-wise he is, but he's not. He's only 31 years old, okay, so still young. I like the Doc, okay. I've always liked the Doc. Now, let's go to our other boy, Oliver Hollands. Now, if Doc is going to go to the back line, it has to be Ollie Hollands on the wing, okay? As he's played wing last year. Let's have a look at some of his scores last year on that wing. Let's have a look at some of his big... he's had a lot of games where he hasn't scored well, but remember, the wing position, you don't normally score that well. Let's have a look at an average game, okay? Let's have a look at, say, a 75. That's his pretty much average game. As you can see, it's on the wing, okay? Now, let's have a look at this game here, the 116. What did he do this game? He played more of a half-back role onto the wing, all right? But still on the wing. Let's have a look at this 96 game. Again, it is a wing role, but it is a bit of a half-back role. I'm not sure what this role is, but let's have a look, compare this role to... so that's Ollie Hollands there. Let's compare that role. That's sort of Doc, okay? So that's Hollands. That's the Doc, okay? And that's... what's the Doc also? Okay, we don't need the Doc. And that's Newman. So, Hollands, the Doc, and Newman. But this game he only scored 90. As you can see, it's only his second year. Well, he's going to play his third year now, all right? So what are we expecting from him, okay? So let's calculate how much he can make. Now, what kind of score are we expecting from Ollie Hollands? Okay, now, with Pete, his price just below Pete Link, all right? We've got Pete Link at 352k, Hollands at 333, okay? Actually, everything is a 3 of Hollands. 333, 300. Okay, now, what are we expecting from him? Let's say, is 90 being fair? Okay, can we say 90? And that's being a little bit generous, but maybe the role is there to score a 90. Okay, now, let's have a look. If we go back, I mean, considering, mind you, he played on the wing, all right? But he's only scored 90 or above twice. Okay, actually 3 times. Now, we're in DFS Australia's new Supercoach pricing projector. Okay, now this is an awesome tool. Now, we're going to go all the way down to 333k. Okay, let's go scroll down to 333. And there's a lot of 333s here. And there's Ollie Hollands. Let's give him an average. Okay, let's say 90. All right, then we're going to change it to 100 as well. All right, so let's just say 90 for now. So the first 3 games, Ollie Hollands is going to go at 90, okay? How much does his price go? His price goes up by 38k, right? Still affordable at 371k. If you went out at 100, let's get back over here. Okay, if you went at 100, he goes up at 51k. All right, it's not too bad. Now, if our boy, let's go up to the top a bit more, Peatling. Let's say Ollie Hollands went at 100, all right, and Peatling went at 80. All right, let's put Peatling in at 80. Because let's say you started Peatling, okay, and he went at 80, and I'm going worst case scenario here, all right, and we weren't happy with Peatling's 80, okay. Now, what you can do, Peatling's gone up 20k, Holland's gone up 50k, all right, but Peatling's price is 372k, whereas Holland's price, okay, Ollie Hollands, is 384k. So for 12k extra now, okay, you're actually losing now, but 12k extra, you can do the switch from Peatling to Hollands. And I'm 80. I'm being very, very low on his projection, so probably go a lot better. So what I'm trying to say here is, all right, it's a risk to start Hollands. Especially if you're going to start Peatling, okay? If you're going to start both of them, it's a massive risk. I don't recommend it, okay? You've got to start one. You can't have both. So if you're going to start one, which one would you start, okay? Well, I would start the one with the higher price, because that way you can always drop down to a lower price, rather than starting the one with the lower price, then you have to find the cash to get to the higher price, okay? So especially if Peatling goes off and Hollands doesn't, then you have to find the cash. Unless you do all this before the prices go up. So within 2 rounds, you make a decision. Keep in mind, Holland's first game is against Richmond as well. So that he could go nuts against Richmond. So it could be a big game for him. But I'm watching the Doc. The Doc is my boy. And I'll be watching him very close. And I'm really hoping it's the Doc. Now, if it is the Doc, then I've got a big problem as well. Because then I've got to fit in Peatling, Chera, because I'm going to start Chera, okay? There's no way I'm not going to start Chera. All right, so I've got Peatling, Chera, Oliver, okay? And I've still got to look at Cumming. If I like Cumming, I'm going to go nuts. Okay? I'm going to have a midfield here. The highest price player is 487k. This is crazy. Just calm it down. Now, the final verdict, okay? First of all, let's do the Doc. All right, so this is the Doc. Final verdict on the Doc. Value, yes. Okay, there is value. There's a lot of value. Okay, how much are you saving? Because we're not making cash. He's not a rookie. Okay, we're not going to make cash from him. We're going to save this cash. So how much cash are we saving? I'd say 110k minimum. Okay, we're going to save from the Doc. Maybe 100k, but about 110k. What are we expecting him to average? I'd say a 110. I'm looking at a 110 from him. Keeper. Yes, actually, let's just say 105 to 110, but I really like the Doc. Okay, now, decision, yes, a must-have, yes. Okay, now, notes. Now, if we see the Doc in that back line, okay, he played all preseason. He's named on the sheet, team sheets, on the back line. The coach even mentions that he's going to play in the back line. If we hear all this, it's like music to our ears, okay? It's like we're going to a rock concert, okay? It's beautiful music. Now, the notes, it's a lock, okay? And the keys, you just throw them away, okay? We're going to go... when you want to throw the keys away, you got to be very careful, okay? Because it's very dangerous. Someone might get them and reopen it again. So when you go to throw the keys away, what you got to do is you're going to go to your backyard, if you've got a backyard, okay? And make sure you don't have any dogs. And you're going to dig up a big hole. And you're going to, 10 foot deep, the hole's going to be very deep, okay? And chuck the keys in there and just put the sand back over and just lock it in, okay? It's a lock. Throw the keys away. He's locked and secure for the whole year, the Doc. Let's go to Hollands now, okay? I mean, how many Carlton players can we have? What if they're both playing in the back line? Because Hollands has been training in the back line, okay? So obviously they had plans for him. So what if they're both playing in the back line? Then what are we going to do, okay? Now, if Hollands averages 90, all right, he's going to go to 450k. If he averages 80, he's going to go to 400k. So... value, there is value there on Hollands, especially in the back line. However, if the Doc goes to the back lines, maybe who's going to play in the wing now? Hollands has to go back there. Okay, so values there. Cash, how much will he make? Okay, let's say he averaged 90. Okay, I'm being generous, and I'm saying 120k. But let's be realistic. Okay, let's say he averaged 80. Then he's gonna make 70k. All right. So he's gonna go between 80 and 90, I think. Keeper, no, definitely not a keeper. Okay. Decision for me, must have is a no. Okay, not a must have. Okay. Decision for me is a pass on Hollands. However, okay, take notes here. If Hollands is going above expectation and looks like he's going at 100, okay, if he's going at 100, I can downgrade that pass to a yes. Okay, grab him. Okay, so it depends what he's going at, and I wouldn't start him. I would wait and watch him especially against Richmond. That would be a ceiling game. If he can't score against Richmond, he can't score against no one. Okay, so we're going to see him against Richmond on a ceiling game, what he does. And if the score is in the 80s, okay, it's a pass. If he goes in the hundreds, okay, then you got to find a way to bring him in and do a correction trade somewhere. Okay, it's got to be something. Especially, don't grab him after the Richmond game though. Grab him, wait for the second game, because as we saw in his scoring here, all right. Let's go back to 2024. His scoring can be very lopsided, up and down. Okay, so just wait 2 games before you make it. Or you can even wait 3 games and pay a little bit extra. All right, so it depends what you want to do with Hollands. But I would grab Peatling way ahead of Hollands every day of the week right now. Okay, so and grabbing 2 of them, it's going to really muck up your system. All right, especially now that you have to bring in the doch. Okay, now that's ruined everything. So that's our episode for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing: it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.